Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy Monday, good morning, and welcome onto the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you, as always, by Happy State Bank. Alongside Geoff Haxton, I'm Chois Woodman. Lucas White, across the way, taking care of us as usual. You can hit us up, your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your reaction to the bowl game. Get to plenty of that reaction coming up today. You can tell us how your weekend went, what you did. How about them Cowboys? All of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
A little 26-0 in the fourth quarter. That's
a little 50-burger hung there, too.
Oh, my gosh.
54 points by the Cowboys.
I left the house, and it was
yeah, it was still
a ball game.
Right?
And then turned on TV again, and it was not a ball game.
So, Texas Bowl. As it kind of got rumored towards the end of the week last week, it's kind of leaking out, OU's the one that Cheez-It Bowl once, and that's what ends up happening. So Texas Tech falls into that Texas Bowl slot, which the Texas Bowl people seem plenty happy with. Mixed bag of reactions from Texas Tech fans out there. Would love to have yours on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. That's our poll question of the day on how you feeling about the Texas Bowl draw there on the 100.7 The Score Twitter account. How's your weekend?
It's good. It went fast, but it was good. Watched some football. Didn't do a whole bunch. Did some housework.
Mm-hmm.
Found an interesting niche in my parenthood. So
a niche in your parenthood. Okay.
Cameron, the oldest, 14, girl,
mm-hmm.
she decides she wants to do a sleepover at our house with Gracie. Gracie comes over.
Not just a full-fledged, like, bunch of girls, just one girl,
just
right?
one.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do that, and she stays the majority of Sunday. Sunday late afternoon, she decides, hey, Gracie and I are going to go to the park. I'm like, okay. Go down to the park. Shoot some hoops, do whatever.
Yep.
So, been gone a while. I decide I'm going to take littlest one, 4-year-old, and we're going to go on a walk.
Okay.
Yeah, not for exercise, to spy on Cameron. And who's down there? 2 boys shooting hoops with 2 girls. So I've got a 4-year-old on a swing set, pushing her,
mm-hmm.
just like I did with Cameron 10 years ago. And behind me, I've got at the park with boys. It's just weird.
And?
I just want to let her know Dad's around.
Oh, yeah. Spy all you want. That's fine.
Yeah, Dad's always around.
It's good. You're going to be that dad that's whenever she goes to the movies with the boy, you're sitting there in the back.
Probably.
Munching the popcorn.
Yeah.
Loudly, making your presence known. That's good. Went to the ranch this weekend.
Woodman Ranch.
Experienced, it's called 4W, but that's all right. Experienced the,
Jeez.
What?
No.
The nature quite a bit. Got all smoky from the fire. Campfire meals just are different. I don't know. They're so good. Just, you like campfire meals? You're not as outdoorsy of a
I like
person.
Campfires, but I don't think I cook over them.
Never?
No.
Oh, man. Breakfast on a campfire?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't get much better. And the cast iron? So good. The biscuits, frying them in the cast iron? So good. Tell us about your weekend.
You and John Dutton.
Me and John Dutton? No, not quite. Texas Tech ends up in the Texas Bowl. Not really a surprise if you believed rumors you were hearing late in the week last week. reaction to that?
I think it's great.
And Ole Miss.
I think you're going to pound them. I think you'll have 20 to 30,000 people in the house.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great day. So I understand wanting to go to Florida and all that, but I just think this is perfect.
I think it's, as we're seeing with the reaction, I think a lot of people that were going to travel to this bowl game no matter what preferred the Florida. Been like, man, would have loved the more tropical climate here, would have loved to just getting to go spend some time in Florida in the wintertime, and just the new bowl game, because this one you're very familiar with. But seeing the reaction from people in Texas, there's a whole lot that are like, man, I can get to this game. This makes it a lot easier on me, where I can, it's after Christmas, I'm already going to be off, or I could take off easily. Yep. This is a really easy game to get to. So I think there's a lot of people that are excited, are happy. And I think from a home crowd standpoint, especially with the excitement that seems to be around this team right now, you're right. 20, 30,000 people would not be surprising at all. You'll see a lot of red and black there. And these two teams are on completely different paths, too. I mean, remember, Ole Miss was ranked, number 7 at one point in the season? I mean, they were a top 10 team. And and
Johnny Socks.
Yeah. they were up in the top 10, and now they've fallen to 8-4. Texas Tech had to win 3 games in a row to get to 7-5, and did win 3 games in a row. So these two teams, the excitement seems to be complete opposite around them. Now, bowl games are the most impossible thing to predict, but I don't think you're going to see, especially nowadays with the transfer portal, which, by the way, opens today officially.
It is flowing, man.
Oh, it's going.
How about dude from NC State, quarterback
Leary?
He's in it. Mm-hmm.
Well, he was one of the top quarterbacks in the draft before he got hurt. That's interesting. I'm sure.
Wake Forest running back, Virginia safety. I mean, it's going crazy.
I'll tell you what I saw out of Leary.
Oklahoma State's best linebacker.
Okay. What I saw out of Leary at NC State, I was not impressed with, but they didn't use him that much. Like, utilize what he's supposed to be able to do. So maybe that's why he's leaving, is that he didn't get used a whole lot. Yeah, the portal's going to be explosive today. For about a week, we're going to see everybody going everywhere, and then it'll calm down a little bit. And then there's going to be a lot of people without homes. We saw that. There's like 40%, I think, that went in the portal last year that didn't end up getting a home. So, not always
Neon Dion, prime
Neon
time.
Dion, and
we got some audio
Boulder.
from them.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun one today. We will talk some Cowboys. Didn't even mention the Rangers. Huge signing over the weekend. Get to all of that. Some headlines coming your way next. It's the end of the bench till noon today on 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
No part of the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Alongside Geoff Haxton, I'm Chois Woodman. We'll take your thoughts, your comments, your questions. Lots rolling in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. A few headlines to dive into today. As mentioned, the transfer portal is open for business today. Look, we have the portal potty sound. We gotta get some flushing going. Some of the highlights in the portal potty, Hax mentioned it already, with Leary from NC State. DJ Ukulele, that's what we're going to call him. Ugalagalalele. The quarterback for Clemson, however the heck you say his name. He has, I don't know, has he officially entered? I haven't seen it on Twitter, but I saw that he is anticipating.
He will at some point today.
So he's expecting to enter the transfer portal. Someone on the chat line said one of the Baylor running backs is going to enter. I haven't seen that one officially. So if y'all see any big names on the transfer portal, in the transfer portal, hit us up there on the Yates Flooring Center chat line because you could probably keep up as easily as we can.
There's one guard out of Alabama that's going to be really sought after.
Okay.
The guy that gave up 0 sacks the entire year.
And he's transferring.
Yeah.
What the timing of all this is super interesting too. Like, I get guys who are wanting to transfer and all that, but it takes them out before the bowl game. And for teams that are playing in New Year's Six Bowls, extremely interesting there as well. So, in case you missed the news yesterday, Texas Tech will play in the Texas Bowl, I should say, as the Red Raiders are taking on the Ole Miss Rebels. They will face the Rebels for the 4th time since 2000. Couple of matchups home and away in the early 2000s. Of course, Red Raiders and Ole Miss squared off in the Cotton Bowl back in 2008. That didn't go so well. And then most recently, these two teams played in the stadium to open up the 2018 season. So a familiarity with the Ole Miss Rebels. Coming up on December 28th, there'll be an 8 o'clock kickoff. Of course, we'll have it for you on Double T 97.3 as well as 100.7 The Score. Dallas Cowboys victorious yesterday as Dallas rolls to the 54-19 victory over the Colts. It was just one of those, when it rains, it pours. It poured in the fourth quarter for the Cowboys and against the Colts. That was a bloodbath. Is the Cowboys offense real? We'll get into this more later, but is it a real offense, or are they just beating up on bad teams right now? Because they've scored.
Well, that was certainly a bad team last night.
Let's see. The last 4 games for the Cowboys have gone 54 points, 28 points, 40 points. I guess 5 games, 28 points and 49 points. So they've really put up big numbers against bad teams, except the Vikings aren't a bad team, and they put up 40 points against them. So I don't know. That was the biggest concern of this Cowboys team early on, was can they muster up enough offense to keep up with the really good defense. Finally seem to be doing so, as the Cowboys now move to 9-3 on the season. What's remaining? Versus the Texans this week.
Wow.
At the Jaguars next week. Hopefully 2 wins there. Versus the Eagles on Christmas Eve. How about that? Some Christmas Eve football. 3:25. Is that Christmas falls on a Sunday, so we're going to have a lot of Saturday games, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. And then at the Titans on the 29th at the Commanders. You got 5 games left, 3 pretty winnable, couple of them toss-ups. Cowboys could pretty easily be a 12-1 team, 13-1
Oh, everybody
team.
pizza too.
Yeah. I think we have crossed the... Didn't everybody overreact to that one game for the Cowboys? I mean, I was with you. I was like, we all overreacted badly to what we saw in game 1 to the Buccaneers.
Dak breaks a thumb or finger or whatever it was.
Scored, 3 points?
Yeah, couldn't move the ball.
19-3, yeah.
We did the old jump to conclusions, Matt, on that
Majorly. Now the Cowboys are one of the favorites in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl. 5th best odds to play in the Super Bowl.
How dramatically much do the odds for San Fran drop? With Garoppolo hurt.
I don't know.
Garoppolo.
I think the odds, I think San Francisco's odds are more about Christian McCaffrey than they are Garoppolo, but he is still the starting quarterback. Brock Purdy. What
about that, Brock Purdy?
Yeah, goes 25-37 for 210 and 2 touchdowns a pick. I don't know that Brock Purdy's the guy. We'll see. But I'm guessing they'll drop below the Cowboys, would be my guess. That they'll fall below the Cowboys when it comes to the odds, at least for the time being. Bengals beat the Chiefs yesterday.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I'm curious to see if the Chiefs odds drop. They are the favorite, or were the favorite coming in to the week to win the Super Bowl. Lose it 27-24. Lots of frustration. If you watch that game from Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, missed kicks, fumbled footballs, just not the cleanest game for the Chiefs yesterday. And let's see, other headlines for you. College football playoff, if you missed it yesterday, it is set. Number 1, no surprise there, Georgia. Number 2, Michigan, no surprise there. I think there was a bit of a surprise that TCU maintained the 3rd spot, and then Ohio State slips into the 4th spot.
It's so nice. I'm happy they got in.
I am for everything but it actually being TCU.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it shows that you can do it without a Longhorn or, more importantly, a paperclip. You can get in if you don't have those logos from the Big 12 if you deserve it. And
yeah,
I think they do.
It proved it. And you look at the numbers, it would be blatant ignorance and intentional ignorance by the College Football Playoff Committee if TCU wouldn't have got in. You look at records versus top 25 teams. Like Bama was 3-2. I think TCU was 5-1. And that's the College Football Playoff top 25. Wins against teams over 500 in this season. TCU had 6 of those. Bama had 4. Like if that would have happened, it would have been as openly biased as we could have ever seen. And yes, I hate that TCU is playing in the college football playoff. I hope they get waxed by Big Blue.
When has Sonny always been kind of a?
I think.
Has he always been that way?
I think there's been some to him, but we've kind of willfully ignored it here because we like the guy until he's wearing the wrong colors. Now it's like glaring. I don't know that he's been this bad, but I don't know. I haven't paid attention to his stops besides records and a few games here and there for the most part at SMU and Cal. It was just like, eh.
Do you know what is?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I can pick up.
Good.
It's the son's name, but the meaner version. Yeah, I don't know. I do not like Sonny Dykes right now.
Jeez.
The attitude,
jerk.
How he treated Texas Tech. He could have handled everything with Texas Tech differently. You freaking played baseball here. It's not even like you just went here. You were a student athlete here. But he could have handled things completely different. Just, laughed things off or praised his own team instead of taking shots back at Texas Tech. It was just, not a fan of Sonny Dykes anymore. Tonight, inaugural, well, at least for this year, edition of Red Raider Basketball with Mark Adams. Hax will be out there at Rudy's. You can go see it yourself or hear it over on Double T 97.3, 6 o'clock. Red Raider Basketball with Mark Adams. High School Fan Zone here on 100.7 The Score at 6 o'clock. And then Monday Night Football, Saints at Buccaneers following that at 7 o'clock. Plenty to get into. The portal it's
simmering.
Flushing. It's flushing right now. Swirling.
Portal potty.
We will get back to some of that. Oh, look, we could find out who's on the tiny wheel. Coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Onward to our numero dos with the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. Alongside Geoff Haxton, I'm Chois Woodman. Loose White back behind the glass taking care of us on a Music Monday. Still plenty to dive into. Want to talk some Cowboys? Odell Beckham Jr. He's going to become a Cowboy today.
Is that today?
Yeah. They're meeting
Just like
today.
the release of the Big 12 football schedule?
Is that today? So
We've just been talking about it every day.
I know. No, well, like Jerry's actually meeting with Odell today. So I'm assuming they'll get a deal done because Jerry seems like he's been all in for this. He's going to do something stupid, sign Odell to way too much money. It's probably like no money this year, so it won't go against the cap, and then it'll be all for future years where you handcuff the team. I don't know. I'm not ready for it. I'm not. Cowboys are that team that's finally got something going, feeling pretty good, and Jerry wants to screw it up again. So what do you do?
Did you see that fake injury in the Bengals-Chiefs game?
Fake injury? No, I missed that one.
So
I was watching
the Bengals are trying to keep the Chiefs out of the end zone. They're on like the 2-yard line. They're up 14-3 at this point. They're running guys out, and they're not going to get it done in time.
Okay.
Pat's going to get snap off. It's going to be a penalty. Too many people on the field.
Okay.
Dude's at the back of the huddle for the Bengals. Check him out.
Oh, that's so bad. That's like...
And then he walks off without a limp, so he falls down slowly at that, grabs his hammy, and he's back the next play.
Wow. That's like... Can we not judge a little bit? Can we not use our brains a little bit? I don't know. I'm just... it's crazy.
That is... Yeah, there's got to start being... I don't know. Do you want referees to regulate intent?
No, we can't. We can't.
But at the same time, you'd like... If you see that, you're the back judge... You're like, no, not letting that happen today. No. Penalty.
I don't know. That's something where it's like, I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
All right.
So we've been seeing, the Aggies, I think, are the most famous for it.
Yeah, they kind of started it. Aggies always being groundbreaking. This from the Yates Flooring Sitter chat line. Lindell Geoff said, we'll take all the Aggie linemen. Talk about doing less with more. Let the Aggies be the Red Raider farm system. Hey, Tyree Wilson worked out really well.
He worked out okay.
So any Aggies that are hopping in the portal, we'll take it. The one thing that's interesting is the timing of all this. Because Tech you don't have a ton of roster spots open at the moment. You haven't had many guys hop in the portal.
Mm-mm.
You've had one, and I'm not even
Baker
certain.
Mayfield, by the way.
Oh,
gone.
yeah. Yeah, that was interesting.
Released.
Speaking of portal, he's going to have to go find a new home. Does he? Yeah, someone will pick him up as a backup, right?
Is the Steph Curry video real?
Which one?
He makes 5 straight 3/4 court shots.
If there's a player it could be real from, it would be him. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I'll have to watch and judge it. That's further than 3/4 court. No.
He makes 5 straight.
No, he makes one and they're redoing it.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Have you seen how good people are at doctoring videos now?
I know.
Or they're changing like the makes on the other end. I don't know. Can't be real. Can't be. I mean, that's not even 3/4 court. That's almost like
and then he
baseline
runs
to
out of the
baseline.
house. It's unbelievable.
No, I can't believe that one.
This says haters will say it's fake.
Bobby Hot Dog says, what time today do you guys think Shuck will enter the portal potty? He won't. Based off of how Coach McGuire was talking about, he said last night that they're anticipating Tyler Shuck will be the starting quarterback for the bowl game. I don't think Shuck's going to just surprise everybody and say,
Okay.
hey, I'm going to the portal. Could be wrong. I have been wrong once or twice before. So I don't know that for sure, but I would be very surprised if you saw Tyler Shuck in the portal pre.
What about Don Juan?
I don't know.
Since Coach McGuire didn't reference him.
How long do we have? Like, when's the safe point on this whole portal potty thing?
I don't think it ever is it?
When do you start to feel safe, I should say, with a player? Because right now it's
July?
wide open. No, I'm talking pre-bowl game. Pre-bowl
Oh,
game.
you're
that they're not
talking
leave
about an
before the bowl
exodus
game.
for a bowl game?
Yeah. Next Monday?
Next Monday?
Yeah, a week from today, I think I would be like, okay, it feels like these guys are all...
They want to play.
Yeah, the ones that are going to play in a bowl game are here. So I think a week from today is probably that range. Anything else, I have no idea. Donovan Smith, I have no idea. Now, there's guys I think that will still do that will play in a bowl game and then transfer. I mean, technically, Tyler Shuck did that, though it's a completely different landscape than it was 3 years ago. But, yeah, I don't know. Don't know what to expect from the quarterback room at this point, except that it sounds like Joey McGuire is completely expecting Shuck to be your starting quarterback in the bowl game.
Yeah.
Now, I think you're more likely, this is just personal opinion, I think you're more likely to see Shuck go to the NFL than you are to see him go to another team. Personal opinion. I actually think if I was betting on it, that I would anticipate you see Shuck go to the NFL, period. Like, I think that's the route.
So the USFL?
No, we got the XFL next year for the... No, I think Shuck's draftable, like 5th or 6th round, but I think you would see him. He's got enough measurables. He's been... The one thing that will hang up for sure is injuries with teams, but the...
I was going to say, what about the fact that he's built like a saltine cracker?
Well, he's got the look of a pro-style quarterback, which
Tyler, I didn't mean that. I don't know who said that.
I don't know who said
that. I think his name was Lucas, but...
Throw him out. Hey, Lucas is a huge Tech fan this month. They're playing Ole Miss.
Massive Tech fan.
I mean, he's all in on Tech for this month. Maybe we can finally get him to adopt Texas Tech into his large pool of teams. He hadn't done it yet. Have you? You consider Tech one of your teams yet?
For basketball and baseball, yes.
There you go. So just like me. Attaboy.
So we need you to get in.
And soccer and volleyball.
He's still mad about last year for Mississippi State, but he's got to root for him against those dirty rebels. All right, plenty more of your reaction. College football playoff, bowls, just about everything on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll get some of that. Hax has the highs and lows coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
On to hour number 3. Thrilled to be with you on a Monday. It is the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and yours worldwide on the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you as always by Happy State Bank. Also, yours for your viewing pleasure on television, Fox 34 News Now. To my right, that's Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Jackson Frazier now joins us. How are we doing, Jackson?
Doing good.
Have a good weekend?
Yeah, probably doing better than some of those Colorado football players right now.
Yeah, that was...
It ain't intramurals, brother.
No, but they need a full overall. I mean, that's...
Overhaul.
Sorry. Unique New York.
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
I like that one a lot. It's one of my favorites. All right, plenty more from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
Rank these guys?
Yeah, I think so. So you asked me.
Are you there now?
I think I'm there. Like, it took me 30 minutes to figure this out.
4
The
coaches?
top 4 coaches in the Big 12. Well, because I sat there and went through it in my head of, okay, am I going by career, what they've done? Am I going by if I was ranking them right now on their performance this season alone, or am I ranking them collective between the two or projecting forward on, like, if I wanted a head coach at my school, this is who I would pick. So there's so many different, criteria or how you could rank them. But I tried to do as much of a combination of all. The top 4 coaches in the Big 12 to me: Mike Gundy,
1.
Chris Kleiman, 2. Dave Aranda, 3, and Lance Leipold, 4. Forget the guy that's playing.
I forgot about Aranda.
Yeah, you
Jeez.
Can't leave Aranda out.
I can.
You could, but because really he's had 2 mediocre seasons sandwiched with a Big 12 title.
I'm leaving him out.
Okay.
That is the reason I forgot about him.
Because they went 6-6 this year.
Well,
He kicked Tech's butt, though. So it's hard to forget for me.
so say him again.
So Gundy, Kleiman, Aranda, Leipold. I hope I am way more right on this, what I'm about to say, than I have been about TCU all season. Which, again, I picked against TCU this week and they finally lose. Picked against them all year, or picked for TCU, pardon me. I picked against them all year and they win. Cannot peg that team. But I think TCU is going to be a fairly mediocre football program after this season. Fairly mediocre. So we'll call it a slightly above average. This is going to be a flash in the pan type of season. Based off of Sonny Dykes' career.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot see him just turning into a magical head coach. It just doesn't seem to make sense. Because, I mean, he's had some bad seasons. He did pretty well at SMU, but in Power 5, has not done well. So, till this season. So, anyway, I still am, the jury is out for me on Sonny Dykes. If he goes and has another 10-win season next year, he vaults up near the top of this list.
I'm struggling where to put Gundy.
And I went mostly career on this.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Judged it.
That's what I'm going to do to vouch for where I have him on this list. I go 1 Kleiman.
I flirted with that.
At this just current moment, I think the guy can really coach. And he's getting it done at K-State, again, a place where it's not exactly easy to get players.
There's only one other coach that has ever had any success at K-State.
Period. Yeah.
2 coaches ever, literally ever.
So I got Kleiman 1. I got Gundy 2. Now this is an interesting thing because it looks like he doesn't care again. It looks like he's not adjusting with the NIL world. It looks like he doesn't care about the transfer portal, which if you don't care about NIL and transfer portal, you're going to get left behind. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I've got him at 2. Okay? And here's the reason. He's still there, obviously. 11 wins in 10, 12 and 11, 10 and 13,
Yep.
10 and 15, 10 and 16, 10 and 17, 12 and 21. 2 Fiesta Bowl wins. The bowl success has been crazy good. So with all that being said, he could fall off the face of the earth tomorrow, but right now he's my second coach.
And that's why all what you said is why I still have him listed at 1. He is by far the most proven coach in this league. And I think, Hex, we've seen this or felt this before where it's like Gundy's give a darn factor is gone. And then he goes and reels off a 10-win season after that. So
1 losing season, that was in 2005.
Yeah.
2006 to 2022 winning seasons. And this year could get to 8 wins, even with a team that fell apart.
Sure.
I got Leipold 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Sonny Dykes 4.
Okay. I think mine is extreme stubbornness to leave Dykes out. And that's why I have Aranda in there. Leipold, amazing to have 6 wins at Kansas. Amazing. He's another one, though, like Dykes, I need, before he goes higher on this list, I got to see just a little bit more.
And I easily could see Joey McGuire cracking this top 4, top 5.
Yeah, I just need same with him.
It's
sample size is too small.
Yeah, been doing it 1 year. Let's see.
Been doing it 1 year, but there's not a hotter
like.
team in the Big 12 conference than Texas Tech right now, finishing the season off. So that's a good question. It was a hard one to do. Just the top 4. It'll be interesting to finish out those rankings all the way through 10 and see where people were. Because I look at your 2 bell cows, your Texas and your OU, as having 2 of the coaches I would pick last in this league right now.
And we see things that we can compare to. Okay, Matt Campbell, where would he be on this list now?
He would be
close to the basement.
Yeah, somewhere
Would he
around
not?
7 or 8. Yeah.
4 years ago, 5 years ago, where would he have been?
Top 4.
2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere good.
Mm-hmm.
And, people are crushing Dion for leaving the SWAC, and kind of going back on what some of the things he said and that sort of thing. And he said it. He's like, you're either elevated or you're terminated, which is a fancy way of saying strike while the iron is hot.
Sure.
I've seen it. My man Scott Sutton did it when he was at ORU. Got comfy, could have been the coach of Wichita State, got offered the job, stayed comfy, ended up getting fired.
Sometimes it works out, though. But
very rarely.
But
people either get tired of you and get rid of you, or you move on.
Well, Mike Gundy's the example of, it has worked out
again,
up to this point.
Let's go and look at some. It's Whittingham, Ferentz, and Gundy. And that's it. Think of the coaching carousel.
You're right.
And the millions of stops in comparison to those 3. I understand what Dion's doing. Get paid.
Oh, I do too.
Go to a school, get it going.
Lots more on the chat line. React to the Texas Bowl coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's time now for Ask the Benchwarmers. Questions welcome, all shapes and sizes. He's Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Clint. Nope. I don't know where that came from. Jackson Frazier. Clint's living rent free, apparently.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
All right, keep your questions coming. Someone said, Choice, what was the good news for Tech basketball? I am the worst there is about teasing things and not getting to them. Okay, so Hex. Texas Tech basketball received good news by TCU getting in the college football playoff.
Okay.
Because
they'll all be interested in that instead of the basketball game.
Texas Tech opens the conference season on December
31st.
Where there's already very few TCU fans to begin with.
That
every
may
single
be
one of them
70% Tech fans.
Yep. They are
great point.
Their AD said that they were going to already try to keep Tech fans out, but they're going to be all focused on Fiesta Bowl being in Phoenix.
It's great. Great pull there.
Well, I'll credit Level. He pointed out to me
initially.
Oh,
yeah.
But
Level
pointed out to me initially. But this is like fantastic news for Tech basketball because you should have a large amount. Either you're going to have more Tech fans there or just a ton of empty seats in that arena. You're going to have one or the other. And it's great news. And plus, they're going to put that game probably an early tip-off because they don't want to compete with themselves later that evening for the Fiesta Bowl. So you probably have 11 a.m. or noon tip-off, which has still not been decided. Like they haven't announced that up to this point that I know of. But that's the good news for Tech basketball is that you won't be going up against a TCU team that has a huge crowd behind them, not like they normally do, but has a strong contingency there in Fort Worth because
give me your thoughts on Texas Tech coaching turnover football.
What I expect?
Uh-huh.
Well, almost every season you're going to have somebody gone, whether it's getting poached by another team or you didn't do well enough. I think the stat I saw last year was like 97% of schools have some turnover on theirs. It may have been even higher than that. So I would guess you'll lose a coach. I would be surprised if it's more than 2. Meaning they have a good situation where someone wants to hire them, whether it's a position coach to a coordinator role or whatever. It's not one where I think, oh man, you underperformed here, where you're going to lose a whole lot there.
I'll tell you, this day is like, I mean, again, I hate Twitter, but I'm completely addicted to it and have to have it.
Mm-hmm.
It is just one of those days. I mean, just where you don't know the next time you click on the button who's going to be in the portal next, what coach is going to make a move. I mean, There's just so much going on. The best receiver at Kent State's in the transfer portal. And
sure.
Didn't Colorado already go grab a coach from OU?
I hadn't seen it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I think their D-line coach is from OU.
Okay.
I think I saw that last night. I'll go check.
Wouldn't surprise me. Okay. Other questions from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Hax, can you ask Adams why he's continued the F-tier non-conference scheduling since Beard started?
Yes, I will. That's a good question.
Well, I mean, the answer is because it's not going to hurt your strength of schedule, right?
Your net's not any good right now because
62.
of it.
62 right now. But that's before conference play started. It's going to vault up once conference play starts, if you win games. Right? If you win
it's
games,
worth asking the question.
Sure it is. But
Because,
I think that's the simple answer.
I mean,
to it.
ever since I've been here, there's been some, I don't know if it's complaints or if it's just kind of grumblings about, hey, we've seen enough of directional U, and
Sure.
we'd like to see a decent name come in here. And if you don't have the Big 12 SEC Challenge, or the Big 12 Big East Challenge, if you don't have those things, you really haven't had anybody come
But
in
isn't that
here.
part of the problem is the structure of college basketball scheduling already? Like that's everybody's structure.
There's a
for
couple
Power
ways
5.
to do it, and
For Power 5, though.
I mean, Oklahoma State's going on the road. They've got one of the toughest schedules, playing big names all over the place. And you know what? They've gotten their teeth kicked in a couple times. So I don't know. With as much turnover as you have, you're trying to build confidence here throughout this entire non-con. So going and getting beat at UConn, probably not going to give you a ton of confidence. So, I mean, that's the kind of answer we're going to get, but I'll go ahead and ask it tonight.
Sure, it's worth the ask. And I feel like it doesn't – if Coach Adams – and I don't know his 10-year plan, his 5-year plan. If his plan is to continue –
I'll ask him that tonight. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do you see your 5? Well, what I'm really wondering is the plan to continue the roster turnover like it was under Beard, where it's every year a brand new team?
I don't think it is because of the amount of freshmen that they invested in.
Exactly.
And 2 freshmen ready to sign, have signed for the next year.
So I think you could see a change in the scheduling after that. But with the turnover like it is, like you say, meshing a new team every season, you'll almost have to have the easy schedule or the easier schedule in the non-conference. What are y'all's thoughts on Chris Sims' tweet saying the Big 12 sucks? Dude needs to look in a mirror. Yeah. Same answer.
Always has sucked.
Now, Chris Sims is a punk. He is a punk that sucked on the teat of what his dad did in football forever. Right? I mean, he's lived off his dad's success. And Chris Sims is, he's a Longhorn. That's what you need to know about him. Yeah, his argument, I think, on Twitter was that the Big 12 sucks this year. They've got no teams. It's because he's got the mindset that so many of the blue bloods of college football do. Texas isn't good. OU's not good. Automatically, we have to assume the Big 12 sucks.
Nobody else is good.
You look at strength of schedule. You look at strength of record. TCU's near the top of all of college football in those categories. Again, I'm not here to defend the Horned Frogs, but it's the numbers speak for themselves. TCU was 5-1 this year against top 25 opponents in the college football playoff. You look at Ohio State, I think they were 3-1. You look at Bama, they were 3-2. Like it's easy.
Do you have a question about my bowl game?
Benchwarmers, this is from Bullfighter, if you could sponsor or name a bowl, what would it be? He said his was the Denise Big Wheel Bowl.
All right. Now, I was going to answer, but now I'm not.
I answer anyway. I'm curious what you'd come up with. I'm trying.
Nope. Not going to do it.
The Copenhagen Snuff Bowl.
Oh, come on, dude.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma. Grizzly. You don't go Cope? That you making that cash. It's basketball season.
Shut up.
I just thought you switched to Cope during basketball season.
I was going to do the Brahms Bowl.
Of course. That's you. Yeah.
And
where are you playing it?
There's a little tiny town on the border between the Red River. It's just on the Oklahoma side. Ryan, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Home of the Ryan Cowboys.
Like it.
You can be in Texas in about 30 seconds from Ryan. And I would put it right there to be kind of a Oklahoma-Texas conglomerate, the Brahms Bowl.
It's got to be the Brahms Ice Cream Bowl, though, right?
Sure.
Then it's an ice cream bowl. I love it. That's perfect.
Ryan doesn't have the facilities. We have to build it, But.
Sooner Lubbock and several others asked, does Donovan transfer somewhere up north closest to his parents? Is Donovan transferring? There's rumors floating around. I think if you read between the lines, he's your third string quarterback right now. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Nothing's official though. So
could see him in the MAC.
Yeah. Keep your eye on the portal. There's a decent chance you could see him in. Hax, have a good day.
We'll see.
For Hax and Jackson, I'm Chois. It's been the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.